Welcome back to the Bearded Hermit. In this week's video, I'm bringing 2x6s and plywood back to the A-frame build to make a temporary second floor. I dig out after a late March snow, and I share my ideas for the layout of my A-frame floor plan. I start the week by digging out the building materials I'll need to make a floor on the second story of the cabin. This is important so I have a place to walk around while putting up the trusses and to put on the roofing steel. Everything gets loaded up and I drive back to the build site and unload. Today is a pretty nice day, sunny and not too cold. I'm hoping for spring to fully arrive, but I might be dreaming.
Well, let's head back to the A-frame build site and see how it looks, because it snowed last night all night through this morning. I had to come plow the road, and there was still a little water down on the ground, so it was kind of a sloppy mess. And everything looks covered in snow.
I seriously hope this is the last time I need to dig out this house. It's getting really old at this point. And it's a very wet, heavy snow. After having a mild case of cabin fever, it will feel great to be working outside in the warm spring air, not being held up by bad weather or freezing temps.
Not sure how good this is going to turn out, but I had designed the floor plan of my A-frame cabin on a old architect's program on the laptop, and so this is what I came up with. The house is 20 feet wide by 24 feet long, plus an 8-foot deck. So this is 8 by 20. I wanted one interior wall right here to run down on an angle, which would be my wood stove. I want a combination cook stove and wood burning stove. And then the wall would come over here for the bathroom. So there'd be one interior door here. From the deck, you could walk in from a door here, walk straight through the kitchen. There'd be sink, mini fridge, cabinetry. I'm going to put a cabinet on wheels with putting firewood in it for the stove right here. And this open spot right here is going to be the opening in the floor to go into the root cellar. So this right here is the kitchen, and then on the other side of the wall is going to be the bathroom. Sink, toilet, bathtub. And originally what I wanted to do is put a door here, because this room's pretty big. It's 10 feet wide by 12 feet long. In the bathroom here, this wall is going to have all closet and storage space. The angle of the walls in the A-frame are going to be like this, and you kind of lose some space, but I figured the best use of that space would be closet and storage. And I kind of wanted to treat this room like a mudroom also. That's why I wanted the door off the front deck. But several people have told me that it's a way for air to leak in, and it'll be draftier, so I'm not sure. I might put a smaller door here. I might just put a window right here. And then up above the kitchen bathroom area is going to be a loft bedroom, which is going to be 12 by 12 with the upstairs deck over the downstairs deck. But that's all going to be much narrower. The other half of the cabin here I've laid out will have the A-frame cathedral ceiling all the way up, so there'll be no second floor over the living room. So I've just put some furniture here. You know, you can put a couch ottoman there. I want to put some benches for seating here, and like a kitchen table, like a dining room table here, and I want to put a recliner or an armchair right here where I can sit, lean back, watch the fire going, relax. It's the perfect spot right in front of the stove to stay warm. And I just put this kind of round thing here for stairs. It's not really going to be stairs, it's probably going to be a ladder, but it'll be kind of collapsible where it'll fold up into the wall and then you can pull it out to use it. You have to do some space saving things when you're designing an A-frame. But these are my ideas for a very livable cabin with the kitchen, bathroom, living room, and the upstairs bedroom. The total floor space should be about 640 square feet, give or take. So it's a little bigger than a tiny home, but it's not a very big home. It's what I'm planning. And then doors and windows facing the west through the deck area will have a view of the creek, and then the door and windows, and then a big picture window up top on this end looks out over the forest. And that's about it. Well, I've come into the workshop today. I'm going to make a fire. And we're going to make some kindling here. So I'm going to take this chunk of wood here and I'm going to split it into really narrow little pieces. I started out with one piece of firewood, and now I've got all these thin pieces. So then I'm going to take these thin pieces and just split them real little. So now we have a nice little pile of kindling. To start a fire with. So I'm going to start this fire by putting a couple bigger pieces in there. And I'm going to take a handful of this kindling, put it in there. And then I'm going to take some birch bark. Birch bark is that white bark that comes off, just peels right off the birch tree, and it is extremely flammable. It has a lot of natural oil in it. I'm just going to take a handful, rip it up, set it in here. Put a handful of sawdust and shavings in there. Put a couple more pieces of kindling right over top of it. And we should be ready to go. Now, the easy part is lighting birch bark on fire. Birch bark, even wet out of water, this will burn. And so now we just take this in on top of the other birch bark we have. Now this stove is pretty big. It's about, it's maybe 18 inches in diameter, and it's about at least 2.5 feet tall. So this will hold a lot of wood if you want to make a big fire and try to heat a room up real fast. You can do it in this. Let's button this up before all the smoke fills the room. You having fun down there, buddy? Of course you are. And we even have about half the kindling left over to start the fire tomorrow. And that's all it takes, because it is roaring right now. Oh, that's one of the dangers of a wood stove. When you open the lid and there's a lot of fire in there, sometimes the fire can come up at you. And that's exactly what happened to me about 2 weeks ago. I know all the ladies have noticed, but I lost about 2 inches off the bottom of my beard. Opened up the lid, fireball came up and it melted off about this much of my beard. So I was very upset. I had to trim off a bunch of melted hair, and I was devastated. I really was. But it will grow back. Don't worry. I know everybody's worried about it.
Later this year, when everything is done, let's look back and see how close I stay to these plans and what changes I've made. This is the end of the video. As always, please stay safe out there. And remember, life can be good sometimes.